The idea of open films and closed films is a concept introduced by Althusser and Hagner on year 1944 to explain the trend and art style behind each piece of visual work. Throughout the film history, when the film is referred as being a closed film, it is usually saying that the film has created a world out of the one we are living in, where the setting is independent from the reality and characters follow rules that simply don't present on Earth. It is what recent science fiction films are all about, as well as some horror or thriller films. When a film is categorized as open films, it tends to have a strong connection with the real world and often present itself as a one-to-one replica of reality. Documentaries are mostly open films. However, other genres could also be somewhat closed in its sense of recreating the world as it is. Art style and techniques used in different films can directly contribute to identifying whether it is a closed film or open film. Take this one for an example. We have basically seen the whole film in these few seconds. In 1964, Andy Warhol created this super long, experimentally open film Empire that literally has one still shot from the beginning to the end. Its use of still camera and the well-extended long take, as well as the omitting of sound effects, is a perfect representation of the real world. Although it is controversial, as it does not have any editing at all, it is undoubtedly an open film. Similar techniques, such as minimum sound editing, practical lighting, are all iconic traits of open films. These specific techniques made the camera lenses less of a priority, and made the picture look as identical to what human eyes perceive in the real world as possible. In Man with a Movie Camera by Dziga Vertov, abundant amount of shots were surrounding shots that came straight from the silly lives of 1930s people. No acting was ever intentionally made, and everything stays true to its essence. In open films, the films are like windows where people look out and see the true side of this world without any polishing. Unlike what we see in open films, for iconic closed films, they are bold, impractical, yet have great range of possibilities. They show the works of filmmakers on their screen, which basically tells the audience that this is a film with effort. One of the most famous closed films is Avatar by James Cameron. This 2009 science fiction set its story on a totally imaginary star called Polyphemus. It is completely separated from us, and we can tell that every single frame is carefully crafted and rendered. With its massive special effects and spectacular CGI scenarios, Avatar had its seat among the greatest closed films ever. The art style of closed films usually constitutes of quick cuts, green screens, intentional lighting, scripted lines, staged actings, and supernatural settings or plots that drift the audience away from the reality. These films do not necessarily have to follow the rules in our world, and don't even have to be understandable in our world sense. One extraordinary example is the notorious On Ching and the Law by Louis Buñuel. In 1929, it was super surreal and uncanny. The peculiar images were intentionally made up or put together. According to an interview, such images were meant to make people feel uncomfortable and clueless of what they're watching. In closed films, the frame is like a canvas for the filmmakers to willingly innovate and control the elements. Overall, it is not to say that open films are meant to be quiet and calm, and closed films are determined a fast pace. Instead, as long as closed films record our worlds the way it is, they can also be dramatic and spectacular. Vice versa, closed films can be chill and slow. It is all up to the filmmakers to make the creative choice and decide what eventually will be on the screen show.